Hi there, it's Ernest from Trip Astute. In this video, we're discussing the dreaded minimum spend deadlines to earn opening bonuses on new credit cards and some tips on getting an extension from the issuer. One of the most difficult aspects of the points and miles hobby is trying to meet the minimum spend when you open a new account. For example, some of the premium travel credit cards have spending requirements in the $4,000 to $5,000 range, which isn't always easy to accomplish. In fact, we did a video a while back on some tips for meeting your minimum spend, so definitely check it out if you're looking for some creative ways to do it. However, sometimes it's just not possible to meet the minimum spend requirements in the time period. Maybe you have a sudden emergency or life change, or perhaps it's an issue with cash flow. Whatever the reason, I recently learned that it's possible to ask for an extension on your minimum spend deadline. And what I found interesting is that issuers seem pretty willing to accommodate folks, especially when they were proactive about it. So today, I wanted to run through some tips and tricks on getting an extension and meeting your minimum spend requirements. Number 1, understand when your spending window starts. This is a common misconception and a reason why folks might not meet the minimum spend in time. A lot of folks reasonably assume the clock starts as soon as they receive or activate their card. However, it actually starts as soon as you are approved. So if your minimum spend deadline is 3 months or 90 days, you might actually have only 75 days to complete it, since it often takes a week or two to get your new card in the mail. Number 2, spend more than the minimum spend. I've totally been guilty of this one. In the past, I've tried to spend up to the amount required and then stopped thinking about it since I had met the deadline and requirement. However, I then realized that the annual fee that was charged did not count toward the minimum spend, even though I had calculated it as part of the spending. Also, things like refunds, cash advances, or other fees do not count. So it's definitely worth carefully calculating the amount and also spending more just to create a little bit of a buffer. Number 3, contact the issuer. The general consensus online is that it's best to call the issuer in order to request an extension. However, you can also use secure messaging and chat channels to contact your issuer. I personally recommend calling though, since I think it's easier to explain your situation and more personal. It might be my perception, but I think it's easier to deliver bad news over writing rather than having to tell the person over the phone. I honestly think that the odds are in your favor if you're able to speak to someone about it rather than just having them send you a message. And this leads me to number 4, which is be sincere and polite. I recommend being fully honest about why you may need the extra time and explaining why you may or may not make the deadline. Maybe you didn't realize that the annual fee was already charged, or perhaps you didn't expect to receive a refund on an order. Whatever the reason might be, just remember to be honest and polite. As with a lot of things in life, and especially with travel, your approach and demeanor can really affect the treatment that you receive. Number 5, keep records of your application approvals. Whenever I apply for a card, I'll take a quick screenshot of the offer that I'm applying for and save any messages regarding the application and approval. This can really help if there are any issues or questions on the timing of the offer. Also, I track all my credit cards in a spreadsheet. For more information, check out our video on the topic and download our free Google Sheet template. Number 6, don't wait too long to call. If you're close to the deadline or even just past it, call the issuer. You don't want to wait months after the deadline to ask for the bonus or an extension. In this case, it's definitely better to be proactive rather than reactive. Do you have any experience with getting your minimum spend deadline extended? If so, please share your experience in the comment section below. Also, if you have any questions, let us know. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Also, sign up for our newsletter on our website for travel articles, updates, and giveaways. Until next time, travel safe, travel smart.